somebody that loves history like me, one thing that I always do is like when I go to, and this I just can't do in America because America doesn't really have that. So if
200.
I were
We're
to
the
if
new
I were
guy
to
at the club.
yeah, if I went to
Yeah.
like Versailles or I went to the Great Wall, I would be walking in like let's say the palace or I'm walking in the tower of the Great Wall. I would literally imagine like, oh, there would be a Chinese guy standing right here, like a soldier, like 700 years ago. It's like, and I would imagine those things. Like, so I would imagine Louis walking by me, or like we were saying about Osaka Castle, like
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Japanese samurai, like
Whenever
yeah,
I go somewhere, I try to imagine myself in like that time now, and that's
yep,
why I think history is fascinating.
yep,
Um, and as you were saying that, I thought, oh man, like Egypt would have been cool to see the pyramids being built or constructed. As opposed
right,
to now
right.
where it's like you're eating at a Pizza Hut. There's the Pyramid of Giza. Like that's not cool.
Not
But
sure
if
there's
you
a
can
Pizza
sit
Hut in
there,
Egypt, but yeah.
no, I think it's like right across the street. Like literally, I think there's pictures of
Oh,
it.
oh
I
wow,
think
didn't know
I
that.
think again, check it out. But I often do the same thing where I think
Mm,
you and I were in Kyoto and we
mm-hmm,
were in Nijo Castle and I was like standing up taking pictures and I was like, can you
mm,
imagine this? Like 400 years ago where there's no city and it's just like trees. Like this
mm-hmm.
is your outlook. You can see everything. Like that to me is
Yeah,
what's cool.
yeah,
So I'm glad you brought that up because that's
yes.
exactly how I view it.
Yes, and the only thing with America that I would be like, "Oh, wow," would be like if I went to a, probably like a Civil War battleground or like a
Yeah.
Revolutionary War. I'm like, "Damn, this
Yeah.
is where, they fought," and I would have that imagination. Like, if you go to the White House, I won't be thinking like that. I don't know if you would, but
No,
yeah, I
and
would be like,
you mentioned
"Oh,
that
James Madison," whatever.
from someone from San Antonio.
Mhm,
We have the Alamo. You can't really
mhm.
go up on that like the top part of it, but you can sort of see the surrounding areas. And there is a cannonball that's across the street from the Alamo, like stuck in the ground in like a glass case, and it even says like this is a cannonball. And it's like you look at it and you're like, wow. And then you look at all the hotels and like the businesses around, you're like, if there was nothing here but like a
Mm,
desert,
yeah,
it would
right,
be
right, right.
terrifying to be in this little cathedral here behind us
Mhm,
and seeing
mhm,
an
mhm.
army of 3,000 like Mexican soldiers like ambushing you. So there are things where it's like I try to put myself in that aspect, like the mindset.
I will
Um,
say yes, I will say
yeah.
with Tokyo, there's a ton of
Oh yeah,
history, but I don't
definitely.
have that thought like you just said. I'm sorry,
No,
sorry. I
when I
have that thought what you just said. Like I don't imagine Tokyo where I'm
yeah,
like, "Oh, samurais used to walk here. Geishas used to
yeah,
walk here." Because it's so modernized that I don't
yeah.
even have that thought.
When
Osaka
I'm up in
Castle I do.
Skytree and I'm looking around Skytree, I'm like,
Right, right,
none of
right.
these buildings were here. This would be all my domain. Fuji over there looks a little threatening.
But yeah,
Like
I just yeah. Mm. I just don't have the thought when I'm in Tokyo, I will say. Yeah.
Himeji is one of those ones that you can do that. You
Mhm,
can
yes, yes,
literally
yes.
stand Osaka Castle's the other way because
Yes.
it's on that high rise. You can literally
Yes.
look out and see like the surrounding city,
Yes, yes.
and that's a part of history that
And
it's like you can feel
yeah.
it.
Trying to wrap this up, but I hopefully like in the future I would mention this place. There's a place called Matsumoto Castle. Chris and I have been there,
Ooh,
and it's a beautiful castle that has not been touched. It's
it's
original.
like original, yeah,
So it's original. It's the only castle that is not burned down, and it's in its original shape and design. So that is a place where it's like you're like, oh dang, there's like a Japanese guy like living here,
yeah,
because the staircases and everything were designed. I mean, it's still untouched.
super narrow,
So it's like the original Japanese people live there, right? And it's like
yeah.
tiny. So
And every
the old
night they have that
Japanese were
thing
like,
lit up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The old Japanese were like much smaller than they are now, right? So yeah, that's a place where like, whoa, Matsumoto Castle. Okay.